DOJ noon na at ng IACAT na sana makipagtulungan sila sa mga otoridad, hindi lang sa investigasyon noon pero pati sa kaso ngayon, at harinawa ay mapagbigyan sila ng lahat ng may kapangyarihan sa kanila. And considering in 2 months pa magsisimula yung presentation of evidence nung isang pani, naalala ko po nung surrender sina Miss Merly, inaalala pa niya sino mag-aalaga sa mga anak niya dahil iniintay pa niyang umuwi yung asawa para alagaan yung mga bata. In the meantime, isang kapatid yata niya ay magbabantay. Pero so ganun ka distraught siya. Oo, nung araw na sa huling pagdinig ng Committee on Women, sila po ay nag-surrender no, sa ating mga otoridad. So, maraming salamat, Attorney Olivia, at sa DOJ. So, okay. Kung kanina po napag-usapan with NBI, yung mga nahuling Chinese spy, kung pwede kong tanungin ulit sina Attorney Santos sa BI, so ano na po yung napag-alaman yung immigration status nitong mga Chinese spies?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Chief Manahan.
can you spare us a few more minutes? Ginagawa po namin in table forms, and then we will just submit to your office. Only for a few more minutes.
All right, salamat po. And if even in addition to, excuse me po, submitting to my office kung kung pwede niyong sagutin in open hearing since these are simply matters of fact.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Salamat.
Madam Chair, can we also add some inputs regarding Go Hopping?
Yes, please. We need more rather than less inputs.
Last year, Madam Chair, month of September, a mission order was served against Go Hopping for undesirability, overstaying, and misrepresentation as fake Filipino. So, ang mangyayari po ma'am, in case na mag-fail ang criminal offense or criminal violation against Go Hopping alias Alice Go, then magko-commence po ang immigration law, which is deportation against Go Hopping for the 3 charges mentioned, Madam Chair.
Salamat po, Chief Manahan. Of course, we are hoping that the cases against her will prosper, and the committee, while interested in the immigration fate of Go Hopping, is desirous na makumpleto natin yung misteryo ng kwentong paano siya nakatakas in the first place at alamin yung at aksyonan ng gobyerno through the PI yung immigration status ng mga Chinese spies. Yes, Attorney Santos, did you want to add something at this point?
Thank you, ma'am. Also, just to add to the ongoing deportation case of Guo Huaping. She now faces a deportation case for the violations mentioned by Chief Jun Manahan. The deportation case is an independent case from the criminal cases that she is facing. And in the event that the board eventually finds her guilty for deportation, the implementation of that deportation will be held until the criminal cases and its penalty is imposed. So if in case she is granted bail by the court in the criminal cases, she will still be detained under the deportation charge. And bail can be granted only by the commissioner under his discretion. So ganun po yung situation niya, ma'am. As for the spies, as far as the legal division is concerned, ma'am, we are just waiting for the appropriate case build-up from the intelligence division, particularly their identities, proper identities, before the deportation cases can also proceed against them.
But within the hearing today, i-update nyo ang komite, di po ba, sa immigration status nitong Chinese spies na ito? Yes, Chief Uy.
Madam Chair, good noon. The Bureau also stands for that as far as the Bureau's immigration record is concerned, Alice Guo and Guo Huaping is one and the same person. And where in fact we issued already a certification dated November 14, 2024 in relation to the case filed by the immigration regarding the deportation proceeding, Madam Chair.
Okay, salamat, Chief Uy, for that confirmation. Uh, so we're still awaiting the immigration status of the Chinese spies. So at this point, I'd like to ask both DFA and NICA, ano naman po yung ginagawa ng department nyo in the case of the DFA kaugnay nitong mga ah, nahuling Chinese spy na di umano ginagamit ng foreign influence network ng Chinese Communist Party sa pamamagitan ng pagmiyembro nila sa mga civic groups dito. Civic groups na nag-donate pa sa lungsod dito o sa kapulisan ng isang syudad dito at bago pa sila nahuli nakipag-ugnayan pa sa military attaché ng Chinese embassy dito. So could we hear from the resource person of the DFA? Director Domingo? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for inviting us today. Good afternoon. The DFA, of course, has noted these press reports of espionage and foreign covert operations in the Philippines, and we have been monitoring. Well, we have been monitoring since the first indications of this appeared last year. And we've also noted the arrests made by the NBI related to alleged espionage cases. Ultimately, the department still treats this as a law enforcement matter. And in fact, we have conveyed our support to the relevant law enforcement agencies, including the NBI and the DOJ. And so far, we have not received any request for assistance, but we stand ready to provide such assistance, Your Honor.
Salamat po, Director Domingo. Could we hear from the NICA kung ano ang ginagawa ng authorities sa ngayon kaugnay nito? So that would be Sir Silvio. Yes,
Silvio po.
yes sir.
Mayong hapon na.
Ngayong hapon po.
Okay. With regards po sa NICA, going back without having a sounding historical na po ito.
It's alright, sir.
With regards po sa kay Go Ping, alias Go, immediately after we received the information na nakaalis na siya ng bansa, we invited our foreign counterparts from Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. And at the same time, we tap our foreign liaison officers, including po yung, we call them Team PDF, the police, the defense attachés, and our foreign liaison officers. So with regards po sa escape route, possible escape route, we were able to obtain the photocopy of actually the sister of Alice Go. Pumasok po siya allegedly base doon sa passport.
Si Sheila Guo, sir.
Sheila Go.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Sheila Go entered, medyo malabo kasi, doon po sa KK o Kota Kinabalu. So tingnan ho natin, masyado hong talagang poros ang border. And then after that, iba po sa Sabah area. Pag pumasok ka po ng Sabah, from Kuala Lumpur, you have to pass through immigration, local or foreign. And then pag aalis po kayo ng Sabah, just the same procedure, local Malaysians or foreign, you have to present your passport. You have to pass through the immigration. Ganun po yon. Now, meron po doon sa aming nakuha is medyo malabo nga lang, but nakikita doon Kinabalu. So we presume na ang jump-off point from the Philippines is Kota Kinabalu.
Pero from the Philippines po, napag-alaman po ba ng authorities saan port or coastal area ng Pilipinas sila umalis?
Meron hong sa mga previous hearings po, I think na-mention po to, yung mga possibilities. And well, I don't have the record. What I have here is yung galing ng Kota Kinabalu. And then from Kota Kinabalu, marami pong points doon, airports, ang western part of Sabah. Eastern part of Sabah. It's from Sandakan going down to Tawau area. That's the boundary na po ng Indonesia. So marami po doon. Ito rin po yung mga rota ng iba pong nating mga kababayan na na-traffic. As a matter of fact, Your Honor, way back 2022, meron hong 2 groups of Filipinas na traffic at nahuli po sila doon bandang Simporna and Tawau area. When we made some investigation together with our counterparts, they were using then a authentic Malaysian IC. And then, authentic Malaysian IC identification cards. Pero iba po yun, authentic po yun, iba po ang humahawak. It was declared na nawala po yung mga authentic Malaysian ICs. So ginamit doon ng mga kababayan nating biktima ng trafficking. Ang iba po doon may unconfirmed report na may nakarating from west eastern part of Sabah to Kuala Lumpur. Pero yung 6 po, 2 grupo, more or less 12 sila ang nahuli ng Malaysian immigration, and then they were placed in the Malaysian depot. And then after that, doon sa nakita namin, posible ho talaga yon na from the back door, alam naman natin yon, madaling pumasok using the back door or yung southern part of the Philippines.
Particularly
Ganun-
po, aling backdoor, which part of the southern Philippines?
Okay. Mas marapit po ang Tawi-Tawi area. Marami hong, in fact, Your Honor, during the pandemic, medyo after ng pandemic, marami hong pinapauwi o transfer. DFA called it as transfer of our kababayans from Sabah back to Zamboanga. So average ho ng bawat sale ng barko is 400 to 500. Ganun ho karami. So imagine po natin kung ganun karami ang naipapabalik sa Pilipinas, madali hong talagang ipuslit sila from Zamboanga, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi area, Condor. Kung ganun po, kung titingnan ho natin, kung maraming na ipababalik galing Sabah, go back to Zamboanga, imagine po kung gaanong pumasok ng Malaysia. And ayaw rin po, in fairness po sa ating mga kaibigan, counterparts from Malaysia, disidido silang mahuli ang mga ito. Together, of course, with the coordination of the embassy, the KLPE, Kuala Lumpur Philippine Embassy, and our counterparts. So doon ho, I'm just giving the picture, bigger picture, kung bakit possible na nandoon pumunta sa Kota Kinabalu. Kasi from Kota Kinabalu, pwede pong mag-travel by land. Bawat major places ho doon sa Sabang, eastern part of Sabah, marami pong airports. So, pwede po yun.
So, ang ruta na kino-consider nyo sa ngayon na pinaka-probable ng pagtakas ni Guo Huaping, which is the original specific topic ng privilege speech na dinidinig nitong subcommittee, is from Tawi-Tawi or somewhere else in the southern backdoor of the Philippines, papuntang Kota Kinabalu via Kuala Lumpur. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, ito po yung dudugtong ko. Our agency was able to monitor Harry Rocky's travel from Zamboanga to Tawi-Tawi on 02 September 2024 at around 9:30 in the morning, taking PR 2485. After po doon, titingnan natin from Tawi-Tawi, wala na ho kaming narinig. Tayo. So another possibility po yun. Well, ayaw ko pong i-confirm, pero ito yung mga posibleng possibilities. So from there, madali na po. In fairness again, with our counterparts in Indonesia, kasi kung going back to kay Go, Waping, o Alice Go, nung nasa Indonesia na siya, the same again with, of course, the BI and the Philippine National Police, nandun po yung nakaabang ang ating Team PDF, na Police, Defense, and FLO. So doon po umikot, nahuli si Alice Guo sa Indonesia. We were able to monitor, possibly from KK, then to Kuala Lumpur International Airport, and then from Kilia 1 to Singapore Airport, Changi, and then nag-ferry na ho sila from Singapore to Batang, Indonesia. So yun po ang mga posibleng na confirmed na po yun. But as to the question of how Alice Go was able to leave the Philippines, ito po yung gaps na tinitingnan pa rin namin. Sa matter of fact, palagi po kami nagmi-meeting together with the Immigration Commissioner Biado. Ito, continuous po yun kasi may mga discoveries, may mga bagong informations kami. Without going further into the pinaka-details po yun, ma'am. May mga other means of or vehicles or other platforms, whatever, na pwedeng pagsakyan from Tawi-Tawi to eastern part of Sabah.
So mula Tawi-Tawi po hanggang Kuala Lumpur, sumakay ba talaga sina Alice Guo ng barko o small boat, big boat, or lumipad lang sila sa
Ah,
pagkaalam ng NICA?
From
Ah, pursuing yung theoretical route na Tawi-Tawi to Kuala Lumpur to Kota Kinabalu, back to Kuala Lumpur en route to Singapore and then to Bataan. So yung pag-alis, kung mapupruweba nyo eventually Tawi-Tawi to Kuala Lumpur, was it by sea or by air sa pagkaalam ng NICA?
ang pinaka kwan po noon is by sea. Kung Tawi-Tawi. Sabi ko nga po kanina, madali pong tumawid. Kung nagpapa-return tayo ng 400, 500 plus Filipinos issued with travel documents kasi wala pong passports. Almost monthly po yun noon, 2022. Ganun ho karami ang tumatawid. So ibig sabihin, sabi ko nga po, mabilis, madaling pumasok, madaling mag-travel papuntang eastern part of Sabah.
And
Now,
sir, of course, mula Tawi-Tawi, pwedeng umalis by sea or by air. Pero para dumating sa Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA-1, by air.
by air po.
So
Layo
mas
po yan,
malamang by
almost
air
more.
tumakas si
Opo.
Guo Huaping kesa by sea.
From KK to or eastern part of Sabah, if from Sandakan to Kuala Lumpur, it takes more than 2 hours po ang flight time.
And from Tawi-Tawi to KL International Airport, so pinaka-logical by plane
Hindi po, wala pong Tawi-Tawi to KL.
na commercial flight
Wala po.
unless chartered flight
Galing po
po.
ng KK. Baka ibig niyo pong sabihin, Your Honor, is from KK.
Di po.
Or
Sinusunod ko
KK,
yung ruta na
opo.
yung possible route na nilarawan nyo kanina.
From Sandakan, going down, Simpurna, Tawau. Yun po yung may mga airports. So pwede po mag-land from, pwede pong from Sandakan going down to Tawau area. May mga airports po doon. And
Sir, if I could ask briefly BI about this. Very interesting po yung the working theory that you're describing. Anong tingin po Chief Manahan ng BI sa theory ng NICA kung paano nakatakas si Guo Huaping?
Madam Chair, there was a discussion and meeting held last year, and I'm also on board nung nag-meeting discussion. In nabanggit po ni Sir kanina na theory, BIA also have the same um, 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 theory as stated by the the gentleman from the NICA, Madam Chair.
So sa tingin din ng BI, pinaka-probable na jump-off point ni Guo Huaping was Tawi-Tawi
Madam Chair, yes, by sea.
by sea. And then nakarating sila sa KL International Airport
Yes, Madam Chair.
by
Although
plane.
yung KL International Airports, that's still a mystery, Madam Chair.
No, sir. Actually, that's the only thing we know for sure now. Meron po tayong pruweba na stamp verified by my offices, Malaysian sources, no? Na genuine. Oo, sa KL. Na the stamp at KL International Airport, Terminal 1 apparently, is genuine. Yun lang ang alam natin for sure sa hindi ko maintindihan bakit napaka-misteryosong
Um,
pagtakas na ito.
Fully agree, Madam Chair. Though the stamp might be legit, but how it was stamped may be erroneously done, Madam Chair.
So pero sa ngayon, pareho yung working theory ninyo sa BI dun sa nilalarawan ng NICA.
Yes po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chief Manahan. Please proceed, Sir Silvio.
Okay, yun po yung theory natin in which we were able to find out talaga, even with the documents provided to you by your sources, ma'am, especially yung from Clio 1, then to Zamboanga, and to Singapore to Indonesia. So relatedly, sabi ko po kanina, with regards kay former spokesperson Harry Roque, yung flight details na po yun from Zamboanga to Tawi-Tawi. Malaking prueba possibility po doon. Now, of course, without going to the details, tuloy-tuloy naman po ang monitoring namin with regards sa travel log o travels ni former spokesperson Roque, even in Dubai, in Macau, and in Japan.
So confirmed po ng NICA na pumunta siyang Dubai and then confirmed din po ba na dumaan siya sa Shanghai for 1 day and then confirmed po ba ng NICA na pumunta siyang Macau? And then what can NICA confirm about the Japan or even the US information?
Your Honor, yung previous travels niya po is wala pa po yung sa US. Yung US po is previous travels na po niya yon. Lately lang po yung mga ganito from the Philippines going out to say Shanghai and Macau and Dubai. We have reliable sources na nandun po talaga siya.
Saan po sa ngayon, sa araw na ito?
Well, I don't have the updates for now, but tuloy-tuloy naman po ang monitoring namin.
And the latest update was nasa Macau siya.
We'll check with our sources po.
But the latest information that you received, even if not today but previously, was nakarating siya sa Macau.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. And then ano po yung ginagawa ng NICA sa ngayon dun sa recently arrested na di umano'y Chinese spies na member ng civic organizations dito na nakikipagtrabaho sa Chinese Communist Party at nagdo-donate daw sa mga LGU at kapulisan natin dito at nakikipagkita sa Chinese military attaché dito.
Well, that's the subject of all I can say, Your Honor, is that's the subject of the ongoing investigation with the PNP siguro. Yeah. More so that the recipients were the PNP organization.
Salamat po ng marami, Sir Silvio. I'm sorry, I cannot see your title. Natatakpan lang po yung... Yes, sir. Director. Salamat, Comsec. Salamat sa inyo, Director Silvio, at sa NICA. Actually, I have a couple more questions po para sa agency. During the other hearings, yung Committee on Women hearings, we came to the conclusion that these POGO hubs we're also being used as conduits for espionage activities nga po, not just transnational crimes. So after the months that have passed, meron pa bang ibang, bukod sa napag-usapan na po natin, Director, meron pa bang ibang developments sa direksyong ito? Meron ba tayong mga bagong natututunan sa hugis at anyo ng espionage activities at links na mga ito sa POGOs?
Madam Chair, pasensya na po, ano? All we have, maybe the agency can submit a report for that. Just like the reports we have submitted to you with regards to this Chinese national na gustong maging Pilipino.
Thank you so much. At sa pagbanggit din sa kaugnay na issue na tinrabaho din ng opisina ko, it was really very timely na habang ini-enforce pa yung pag-ban sa POGOs ay yun na nga, merong lumitaw na issue na humihingi ng Filipino citizenship. Kaya lang napag-alaman po namin may mga red flags dahil may mga di umanong ano talaga kaugnayan dito rin sa POGO na ito. So salamat sir. Huling tanong na lang, Director. DICT has recently expressed fears that POGO hubs are now being used as troll farms to sow disinformation at posibleng election-related po ito. Tiningnan na po ba ito ng NICA at kung oo, ano ang ginagawa ng agency para i-address ito lalo na palapit na ang mga eleksyon?
Thank you, ma'am, for raising that question. Well, ang masabi ko lang po, all I can say is that NICA is actively monitoring all these, interference and malign influences. Especially so that, sabi nga natin, malapit na ang election. And there are actually big possibilities na talagang meron. But we have this committee together with the other agencies of the government where we can discuss and maybe later on come up with a unified stand. And a result will be submitted to any authorized agency po.
Salamat, Director. And I hope the Senate Committee on Justice under our chair will be one of those authorized agencies. Yung committee po, yung Task Force PDF, tama po ba? Oh, sorry, which committee? This committee. You're referring to this committee. Okay, maraming salamat po, Director, at sa NICA. So, ilan pa pong mga tanong sa DFA? So, kay Director Domingo. Ayun, actually follow up po ito sa pag-uusap namin ng DMW kanina, Director. Kailan po kaya natin mapapauwi yung mga Pilipinong nasa Myanmar pa? Mga 100 sa pagkaalam namin, at least one of whom has been raped. Andun na po sa border na iipit lang sa burokrasya ng koordinasyon ng tatlo nating mga bansa. Tayo, ang Thailand at saka ang Myanmar. Meron na po kayang timetable ang department na masasabi sa kanilang mga pamilya?
Senator, I have to apologize that this is not under my purview, so I would like to defer to my colleague, Director Lau.
Thank you, Director Domingo. Yes, please, Director Lau.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you for this opportunity to respond. I'm actually with the Passport Division, but I have information, Madam Chair, to share that the Philippine Embassy in Myanmar is in direct coordination already with the authorities there. And in fact, yesterday there was a meeting between the Office for Migration Affairs headed by Yusek Ed De Vega and our embassy representatives in Yangon and Bangkok PE. They are closely coordinating with their counterparts both in Myanmar and Thailand. With respect to our division po sa Passport Division, we are also helping out and assisting the office of Yusek De Vega when it comes to verification po for the records of the passport ng mga kababayan natin. prior to the preparation po kasi ng travel document issuance, may kaunting verification lang po ng identities ng mga Pilipino. So yun lamang po, Madam Chair. I think our embassy representatives and DFA on the ground are already in close coordination po. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lau. That's very good to hear po. Just for the record, mayroon pong 5 individual na specifically wrote to my office, and we're really hoping sa tulong ng DFA, we'd like to have them home by this week. Is that possible? We can provide po their information para maagan yung ma-verify yung passports at maihanda po yung travel documents nila. Can we do that po? Can we try to do that po, Director Lau?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll definitely request po the information from your office, and I will relay it to the office of Yusek De Vega, and will coordinate with them promptly.
Thank you very much po, Director Lau. And in advance kina Yusek De Vega, no, sa buong department ninyo. So hopefully, at least for the 5 who wrote directly, hopefully this week, and then makikipagtulungan na lang po kami sa inyo to follow up the rest of the 100. And ito po, for information na lang po, Director Lau, ayon po dun sa 5 individual, yung details po nila, yung mga dokumento po nila, nasa Philippine Embassy in Bangkok na po natin. So hopefully that will really facilitate their return home this week. Salamat, Director Lau. Just a couple more questions po kung sa inyo po or kay Director Domingo. Siguro dagdag po sa napag-usapan with DMW earlier. Pwede po ba kayong magbigay ng status update sa sitwasyon ngayon dun sa Myawaddy border? Ngayon nag-crackdown na nga po ang Thailand, or nag-crackdown na dun sa mga scam hubs sa kanilang border. And importante po sa komite, sa subcommittee po namin ito, sa perspective po ng DFA, would you agree na yung sa characterization ng dumaraming international media agencies na naging humanitarian crisis na ito, yung mga Filipino and other nationals na natatrap dun sa mga scam compounds at marami hindi pa makauwi gaya ng gusto po nila?
Madam Chair, for my division, from the passport division, unfortunately, we're not directly involved. So I'm afraid I would not be authoritative to respond, although I could offer a personal perspective, having come from the office of Yusek De Vega myself.
Could you please? The committee will note that it's a personal perspective, but para in any way na makatulong sa amin po to come up with the most substantive conclusion sa hearings natin.
Yes, Madam Chair. I think the observation of international media and the reports coming in lend credence to the fact that it is already a serious matter to be attended to by the countries of nationals involved who are already victims there. Nagkakaroon po ng parang seasonal, or minsan dati na po kasing pumutok itong ganitong, if I remember correctly, about a year or 2 ago. There were already reports of scamming and Filipinos being duped to travel to other countries where they are being physically abused just to comply with illegal requests to scam other people. So I think, Madam Chair, during the initial year or so where this particular activity was exposed to the media, nagkaroon po ng crackdowns, and eventually the perpetrators of such activities found creative ways to transfer their sites of operation to other areas where both law enforcement of legitimate states would have difficulty in getting to them, yung access component po, such as yung area po na dinidescribe yung sa Myawaddy, where lawless elements are actually possibly in a better position to control the area more than the legitimate forces of the host government. So, ma'am, I think this is being carefully studied naman po by law enforcement of the host country, and our embassies naman po are very close to their host government counterparts to deliver to the Department of Foreign Affairs, ma'am, the immediate reports that we need to attend to. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat din, Director Lau, for those updates at saka yung bagamat hindi pa humanitarian crisis ilalarawan ng DFA, at least a serious matter to be attended to. And in relation dun sa sinabi ng DMW kanina, dahil buti na sustain pala at nagpapatuloy yung Bali process, I guess that's one of the frameworks for intervention na nagagamit ng gobyerno natin, including through the DFA, para curatively and also preventively, at ito yung huling tanong ko sa DFA, matulungan at maprotektahan yung ating mga kababayan. So yun na nga po, lastly po sa DFA, bukod sa prevention, ano naman pong suporta ang binibigay ng DFA sa mga Pilipinong biktima ng trafficking sa ibang bansa? May nabanggit na po ang DMW, baka may gustong idagdag po ang DFA.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I think the Department of Foreign Affairs through the Office for Migration Affairs po is the primary arm of the Foreign Service to render assistance to nationals services. So that could be that's a whole gamut, ma'am, of services. Most common would be welfare assistance para doon sa mga nagkakaroon ng short-term problems abroad. We also provide them repatriation assistance, shouldering their airfares, providing them immediate, attending to their immediate needs or penalties also for immigration violation of the host countries. So yung assistance to national services naman po, it really is a very general term for a lot of categories of assistance and aid that the Foreign Service of the Republic of the Philippines provides, primarily, ma'am, through our consuls and consular officials po abroad. Of course, whenever there's a presence of other agency attaches, such as the Department of Migrant Workers, our defense attaches, and our police attaches, we work hand in hand with them together. But by and large, the Foreign Service attends to our foreign nationals abroad wherever they may be, and if they are in need, our embassy officials are there to help them. Thank you.
And thank you again, Director Lau, and to the department. Sino pong resource person ng DOTR?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Yes, Attorney Alarcon. Just one question, sir. Nasa ilalim po ng DOTR yung Airports, Office of Transportation Security, CAA, PPA at Marina, among others. So ano po ang plano ng bagong pinuno ng DOTR para tugunan yung mga isyung nabanggit sa mga hearing na ito, kaugnay ng control at saka seguridad ng inbound and outbound travel?
Madam Chair, regarding this, I haven't talked yet to our new secretary, but we could initiate a meeting with our attached agencies regarding the considering that DOTR primarily deals with the policy making and regulation of transportation related concerns. We will have to closely coordinate and conduct a meeting with our attached agencies like CAAP and MIA and other concerned attached agencies, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Alarcon. Sana maaga niyong mapulong yun para the department can jump in dun sa corrective measures nating lahat around the table para masolusyonan itong misteryong ito nung go-swapping and hindi na maulit. And then all the other related border control and protection issues, lalo na para sa ating mga kababayan.
Yes, Madam Chair, we will conduct it immediately and we will also submit a report to your office.
Salamat po,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Attorney Alarcon. Huling tanong ulit sa BI bago tayo mag-suspend. Kumusta na po yung masasabi yung immigration status ng Chinese spies? Chief Manahan.
No, thank you, Madam Chair. Since last year, ma'am, and up to the recent arrest of the NBI on those suspected to be involved in espionage, there's the total number of suspected espionage with foreign nationals Chinese with the espionage um, cases. One, two. Total of 10 as of this date, Madam Chair. The first two, both those separate cases, both mission order initiated operation initiated by the Bureau of Immigration. Two individuals, two foreign nationals, Chinese national, used to have a working visa. The other one now arrested with arrested while holding a tourist visa, Madam Chair. For the one subject arrested by NBI in a condominium in Makati. The, per- the su- the Chinese national was found to be holding a permanent uh, um, visa status. Permanent meaning he is married to another permanent spouse visa status.
Filipina po ito or Chinese din?
Spouse is a Filipina, Madam Chair. So the category of the visa is under the MCL 0702021 visa category, Madam Chair. If you're married to a Filipino and you're a foreign national, a Chinese national, or if you're married to a permanent uh, foreign national, Madam Chair. There's a recent operation by the NBI. On a press conference, they presented 5. 2 were arrested according to the statements that they were arrested at Terminal 3. And then there's a follow-up or subsequent operation wherein 3 more arrested in Puerto Princesa. So the visas issued there's 2 working visas issued, 1 SRRV
Yung special investment resident visa?
retirees
Sorry,
visa, Madam Chair.
retirees. Okay, tulad nung sa nanay ni Guo Huaping.
Yes, Madam Chair. And another MCL 07021, which is a permanent visa. And 1 working visa but already surrendered. So it's now under category of a tourist visa, Madam Chair.
Under category of
Tourist.
tourist.
The most recent, which is another one subject, Madam Chair, foreign national, Chinese national, used to be a working visa, but it has been downgraded, meaning the visa was already surrendered, and now on a tourist visa status, Madam Chair. All the list I mentioned, Madam Chair, will be submitted to your office on or before the adjournment of this meeting, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Chief Manahan. So, 10, no? So, unang 2, then yung isa, then yung 5, so 8, then most recent isa. So, may isa pang kulang. Could you please submit all this information in writing to my office,
Yes, Madam Chair.
please? And then, dun sa ilan na, or isa lang ba, na may, 2 na may working visa, at yung isa na dati working visa nag-downgrade to tourist visa. Dito sa dalawa or tatlo, saang mga kumpanya sila nagtrabaho o nagtatrabaho?
Madam Chair, we will include that in our report to be submitted to your office.
Right. Or could you please make it a record during this hearing? Which company or companies are the two currently holding working visas working for? And which company did the one who surrendered the working visa now has a tourist visa used to work?
Yes, Madam Chair, we will include all. We'll just complete all the details pertaining to the 10,
Okay,
Madam Chair.
sir, but can't you make it a record here during this hearing? Which companies were involved with these persons?
Madam Chair, I have the names of the companies, but I still have to assess whether the companies stated here and the visa given to the subject uh, on the time of their arrest, if they're still connected with the company.
It's all right, sir.
The-
Just for matters of record, at the time that they were issued the working visas and before at least one of them surrendered his working visa, what were these companies?
Madam Chair, the first uh, subject arrested May 29, 2024. Place of arrest, uh, Makati, Madam Chair. The visa issued on 17 May 2019 and valid until March 25, 2021. It's a 9G visa. It company is Invec, Treasure Processing Corporation,
Invec INVC,
INVCH.
INVECH, Invec Treasury,
Treasure Processing Corp.
Treasure Processing Corp.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Right? Ano pa po
The
yung
second
ibang kumpanya?
name, the second subject possesses, Madam Chair, a tourist visa.
There were of the 5 arrested at NAIA 3, of the 5 arrested na 2 arestado sa NAIA 3, 3 arestado sa Puerto Princesa, 2 of them had working visas. So one, I suppose, yung may working visa mula sa Invec Treasurer Processing Corp. Ano pa po yung isang kumpanya? Or were they both with Invec?
No, Madam Chair, yung na-mention ko po na Invec is not related dun sa NBI arrested subjects.
Uh-huh.
The first two that I mentioned was Bureau of Immigration initiated arrest.
Yes.
So now what I will be mentioning will be all NBI subjects arrested
All right
recently,
po.
Madam Chair. One arrested May 13, 2024, holder of a permanent visa, which I mentioned a while ago, the MCL 07021. The 5 subjects recently arrested by the NBI, which is the 2 in Terminal 3 and the 3 Puerto Princesa. One is a holder of a 9G or a working visa. It's valid until January 30, 2025 under the company of Avestronics Manufacturing Corp.
Avestronics. So
Avestronics Manufacturing.
AVESTRONICS Manufacturing Corp. All right.
The other one, Madam Chair, issued 9G visa with the validity until December 4, 2025 under Fixed Mobile Phone Services Corp.
Fixed Mobile Phone Services Corp. FIXED. Ang spelling po nung fixed, FIXED.
FIXST, Madam Chair.
SD.
Sierra Tango, Madam Chair.
Sierra Tango. FIXST. Fixed. Fixed Mobile
Phone Service Corp.
Phone Service Corp. All right. Any other companies?
The 1, 2, 3. The third, Madam Chair, is a SRRV visa holder. But request. And the fourth one, Madam Chair, is a holder also of permanent visa under the category of MCL 07021, married to a Filipina. And the fifth is also a 9G holder or a visa or a working visa holder, valid until September 12, 2025. But it's already downgraded, meaning holder of a tourist visa right now, Madam Chair.
And the company, nung bago i-downgrade yung working visa, the company of this person was?
Blazing Star Marketing Corp.
Blazing Star Marketing Corp. Anything
And
else?
the last one,
Yes,
Madam
thank you.
Chair.
Yes.
Used to be holder of a working visa, downgraded, now on a tourist visa, and Premium East Consulting, Madam Chair.
Premium East Consulting was the company. All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you also very much, Chief Manahan. I'd like to make of record that one of the companies mentioned, the Invec Treasurer Processing Corporation or Invec Treasurer Processing Corporation, is a POGO service provider. Okay. Was a POGO service provider. So based on our initial research. So thank you. Okay. So uh yes. Yes, which corroborates our theory that POGOs were used to facilitate espionage. Right. So, dear colleagues, ang pagdinig na ito ng subcommittee ay tungkol sa mahiwagang pagtakas ni Guo Huaping noong nakaraang taon. Pinakita nito na tila napakadaling takasan ang hustisya sa Pilipinas para sa may mga koneksyon at kapangyarihan. Sa mga bagong isyung lumitaw sa hearing na to, malinaw ang lumalabas. The porousness of our borders allows bad actors, including Chinese spies, to come in. On the other side, it allows the unfettered flight of fugitives and the continued victimization of our fellow Filipinos. Hindi katanggap-tanggap ang sagot ng Bureau of Immigration na parang, Your Honor, hindi ko po alam. May sumubok na po niyan. Halos kalahating taon na po ang lumipas at hanggang ngayon ay wala pa ring sagot. At ang mas nakakabahala pa, kulang na kulang ang interes na hanapin ang sagot at tukuyin ang katotohanan sa nangyari. That's very bothersome on our part. Hindi katanggap-tanggap na may high-profile fugitive na tumakas mula sa ating bansa. At mukhang halos nag-aabang lang ang BI ng sagot mula naman sa ibang bansa. Even more concerning, dineklara mismo ng presidente na heads will roll dahil sa pagtakas ni Guo. Pero sa mga sagot ng Bureau, ng BI, parang wala pa namang internal investigation ang BI sa kung sino ang may kasalanan at kung may katulong ba si Guo sa mga ranggo nito. Pati ang deportation ng mga identified o kinikilalang POGO bosses, ang daming question sa implementasyon. Alam na po natin ang masasamang intensyon ng mga yan at hindi pwedeng hands-off halos ang approach ng BI sa pagpapaalis sa kanila because the Bureau of Immigration cannot be this inutil. To Commissioner Viado of the Bureau of Immigration, with all due respect, please consider this an ultimatum. If no satisfactory answers on these matters are provided by the BI within 15 days, as designated chair of this subcommittee of the Committee on Justice, I will call for a revamp of the BI in the committee report of this subcommittee. A revamp beginning with the commissioner himself. Napakahalaga po ng trabaho ninyo. Aasahan ko po pa rin gampanan nyo ito sa lalong madaling panahon. Akala ko po na pwede na sana tayong mag-adjourn. But because we have officials from government na we will submit a report, we will check our files pa rin, ang bukang bibig ngayong araw, anong petsa na, hindi pa po natin ito maisasara. Maidagdag ko bago isuspend ang hearing na ito, sana sa ating resumption ay nandito na rin ang mga Pilipino na ngayon nasa border pa rin ng Thailand at Myanmar. So sa lahat ng resource persons, maraming salamat po sa pagdalo at pagdalo niyong muli. This hearing is suspended.